Let me ask you this. Has anyone ever reached out to you on LinkedIn or even personal messages and told you that if you pay them so and so amount, they will guarantee that you will pass your PMP certification exam? 100% guarantee that you are going to pass your PMP certification exam. Let me tell you, this is not unusual. This is not rare. Obviously, it's not the right thing to do. Obviously, it is definitely illegal as well. But shady practices like these have been going on for some time now. And when I say that the PMP certification is the number one project management certification out there, when I say that PMP is the gold standard when it comes to project management certifications out there, when I say that PMP requires commitment and hard work, all of that image gets tarnished with shady practices like these, when news like these come out in the open. And it's not like PMI is unaware of it. PMI is definitely aware of it, and that is why there is this change that they have introduced. And this change is going to put an end to all of these shady practices. So, this is the latest change that is coming up from 25th of September 2023. So, we are already there. Now, prior to 25th of September 2023, what was happening was that candidates got preliminary results immediately at the end of the exam. And if you're already PMP certified, this is something that you would have experienced yourself. You finish your exam and the score pops up on your screen. And even the Pearson View Center, the exam center wherever you're taking the PMP exam, they'll give you a hard copy of your mark sheet as well. That is not going to happen anymore, because at the end of the exam, candidates will be notified that their responses have been sent to PMI, and they will get an email from PMI with exam results within 5 business days. So no more instant PMP certification for those who take up the PMP exam. Now, earlier they were using data forensics to detect misconduct, and if misconduct was found, the exam was invalidated. But from here on, they have introduced enhanced data forensics. And what happens now is that if a misconduct is found, the exam is considered a security failure. And I'll talk more about what this security failure is. But the candidate will receive an email notification that their score has been cancelled and will not be provided. So if you are involved in any shady practices, if PMI finds that out, your exam will be considered a security failure and your exam will be cancelled. You are not going to get your PMP certificate. Now, earlier, candidates whose exam was invalidated could retake the examination free of charge in person or online. So sometimes, let's say you're taking up the PMP exam from your home and your internet stops working or the software breaks down, right? So earlier, PMI was allowing you to take the re-examination free of charge. But from here on, candidates who receive a security failure can only retake the exam in person and at their own cost. So you're not going to be able to take up the exam for free, and you're not going to be able to take up the exam from your home. You have to show up and you have to take up the exam in person. Security failures will count towards the candidate's 3 PMP exam attempts allowed in a single eligibility period. And this eligibility period is 1 year. So in 1 year, you were allowed to take 3 PMP exam attempts. If there is a security failure, then one of that attempt is gone. So you're left with 2 attempts now. So that is something very, very important to consider. Now, I've also highlighted some important points here. One of the questions was, can we see a list of candidates who have had their scores cancelled, or review a candidate's cancelled score report? This is where PMI says that all scoring matters are confidential and will be shared directly with the affected parties. That means only with the candidate. PMI is not going to publish any list of affected candidates or share exam data with third parties. So you cannot necessarily bring in any third party to look into this. How do the new security rules impact eligibility? And this is something that we talked about. Candidates with a security failure will have exhausted one of their 3 PMP test attempts in a given eligibility period. All PMP candidates will still have 3 exam attempts per applicant within a year eligibility period. So if you're a new candidate trying to get yourselves the PMP certification, what you get is 1 year eligibility period and you get 3 exam attempts. If you are impacted by these security rules, one of your attempt will lapse. Why are customers not allowed to retake the examination online? To safeguard the integrity of the exam, because PMI has essentially detected something fishy with your online exam attempt, and that is why your exam has been cancelled. You will not be given the mark sheet, you will not be given the certification, and you are asked to show up in person and take up the exam once again. Now, remember, this is not a free attempt, and there is a question around it which I want to highlight here. What if customers cannot afford to retake the examination? Will PMI offer any grants to support retakes? And this is where PMI has clearly mentioned that it is not currently offering any grants or any special discounts. We treat candidates with a security failure the same way as we do those who failed the exam. So if there is a security failure in your exam, it essentially means in the eyes of PMI that you have failed the PMP exam. If you have more questions, reach out to examsecurity@pmi.org. Now, having discussed all of this, let me remind you that if you are someone who's preparing for the PMP exam honestly, if you are someone who is putting in the hard work, if you are someone who is going over our playlists on the PMC Lounge YouTube channel, if you're someone who is going over the articles on the pmclounge.com website, nothing changes for you, because you are not taking these shady routes anyways. You are putting in the hard work. You are 100% honest in your preparation for the PMP exam. So you can totally disregard this, but this is actually a good news. And I'm really happy that PMI has taken action against these shady practices, and I'm pretty sure that this is going to strengthen the position that the PMP certification has out there in the global project management industry. Just a reminder before I let you go, we are all about PMP, we are all about project management. Consider subscribing, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.